Hey guys, Jeremy here with Simple Life, and welcome to installment number 15 of Viewers Knives. These are all knives made by you guys, the wonderfully talented viewers of this channel. I'm so honored that you share these images with me and that I can share them with others and we can keep inspiring ourselves and each other. This is really cool. Let's get right into it. The very first knife we'll look at is sent to me from a 32-year-old knife maker from Doncaster in the UK. Kiran has been making knives for the past few months, and you know what? The thing that really impresses me with these blades is that he's not taking the really easy route. He's really challenging himself with the design and the concept of these knives. Even with the very minimal tools that he says that he has, he's executing these very well. Nicely done, Kiran. Keep on making these knives, and just wow, just absolutely inspiring to see you take on such challenging builds. Alright, Kyle's from Shiner, Texas, and this is the second knife he's ever made. He made it from 01 tool steel. He says he's just absolutely having a blast learning the craft of making knives. Very nice blade here, Kyle. Thank you so much for sharing this. From Shiner, Texas to Denmark we go, and Tom is the owner of a security company, and he sent us this series of progress shots on this knife that he's made, and it's really neat kind of to see the different stages of the knife. The steel that he used for this blade is 1095. He used hardwood for the scales and brass for the pins. Really great looking blade, looks very functional, and thank you so much for sharing this with us. From Tom, we go to Tim. Tim is from Breda in the Netherlands, and he's been making knives for about 6 months. He's really concentrated his effort in the last 6 months on making knives, and he does them all out of his small apartment flat, which is really cool. Kind of reiterates the fact that you do not need a lot of room to make knives. All you just need is the passion and the drive and just a let her rip. I really like his design elements. He's got a lot of classic styled blades as well as some modern styled blades, so that is really enjoyable to see. Tim, thank you for sending these in. These look fantastic. Roy is another gentleman who's been making knives for about 6 months, and these are some of the first blades that he's finished. His attention to detail and the fit and finish on these blades is very impressive. These are great looking knives, Roy. Thank you so much for sharing these. Eric is a 17-year-old knife maker from Bazzano, and incidentally, Bazzano's only about 30 minutes from where I live, about 30 minutes. It is really cool to see that a 17-year-old that lives close to me is making such great looking knives. This is a fantastic looking blade, brass bolster there, paper micarta for the scales, and 1095 for the steel. Also, I'm going to leave a link below. You can check out Eric's page on Facebook, Bear Knives. Check it out, really great looking blades, and Eric, keep on doing this great work. Harrison is a 16-year-old knife maker, and he's been grinding out knives for about 2.5 years. He says my videos have helped him a lot, and what really amazes me about that is that look at this frame lock folder. 16-year-old having done a frame lock that looks this great. I'm just getting ready to start my very first one, so this is truly an inspiration to me, Harrison. Harrison also shared this one, which looks to be some type of a friction folder. Really great looking blade there. I like the texturing on the handles. Harrison, keep up this great work. Alright, to Saudi Arabia we go, and Saleh is a machinist. He sent pictures of this knife that he made himself. He says he really enjoys the channel, and his favorite thing is to seeing all these other things that people are making. This is a traditional dagger, mostly a lot of ceremonial dagger. The gentleman would wear this when he got married. This is really interesting to see, and it's so neat to see some of the different culture behind knives in different parts of the world. So Saleh, thank you so much for sharing this with us. Trevor is from Henderson, Nevada. An interesting little side note, I was actually with my parents one time when they bought a vehicle in Henderson, Nevada. They still live in Vegas, so know the area quite well. Really cool to see you making knives in that beautiful, wonderful, warm area of the world. Anyways, Trevor's been making knives part-time for about 2.5 years on and off, and you can find him on Instagram. Actually, I'll leave a link to that below, 702 Knife and Tool, and really nice looking blades. I like the fit and finish on this one. Very nice looking bevels there. Obviously, this was made from a rasp, and I like the combination of the wood for the scale. So Trevor, this is a great looking blade. Thanks for sharing this. Nilo is a 12-year-old from Finland, and he said that this channel has inspired him to make knives, which is absolutely humbling to hear. The handles he used is oak, and he's not sure about the steel that he used, but he hardened it with a campfire and a blow dryer to heat it up, and really great looking blade. He says it's holding its edge really well, so obviously it worked. What a fantastic looking blade. 12 years old. What a bright future you have, Nilo. Keep making knives, and thank you for sharing this with all of us. Alright, these next knives are sent to me from Marnix, and he doesn't give any information about his age, where he's from, or anything like that. Not much about these knives either, but you can see, you know what, he's learning how to make knives here. I think these look fantastic. I like these sheaths, you gotta figure out some way to hold the knife, so he's made these sheaths for them. They look great. And you know what, this very last knife here, this almost made me choke up. You can see he carved into there, it looks like it was done with a rotary tool or something. It says, "To my beloved dad." You know what, you made this for your father. That is so cool. I'm sure he's gonna just value this knife and cherish it forever. Absolutely inspirational. Oh, this is just so cool to see. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Alright, to California we go, and Dale has made this knife. This is a really great looking knife. I like that smooth looking finish on the handle. Very nice shape. Looks like a really practical skinner. He etched it with a vinyl stencil and sandblasting is how he said he did that, so that's pretty cool. And 01 Tool Steel's what he used. This is a great looking knife. Dale, this looks fantastic. Alright, PJ Survivalist is a 14-year-old knife maker. He says that he really enjoys this channel and it's been a huge inspiration, and that is so cool to hear. I really appreciate hearing that. This is the second knife he's made. He made it from an 8mm thick leaf spring, and he did all the profiling shaping with an angle grinder and a drill. Kind of put the holes in there. Just so inspirational to see 14-year-old doing things and making stuff. This is a great looking blade. I'm also going to put a link in the description below to his YouTube channel. You can go check that out. And PT, thank you for sending this in, and keep on making knives. Alright, I really enjoy this next story. Dan is a 23-year-old knife maker from Clay, New York, and he said that his grandfather could build just about anything, and he absolutely admired him for that. Sadly, his grandfather passed away a few years ago, but he found this piece of steel in his shop and decided to make his very first knife with it. You know, that story just in itself, I mean, this is a wonderful looking blade, and to think about the fact that this, you know what, his grandfather was just doing his work and doing it well, and it has inspired him and left a significant impact on Dan. And you know, I think we need to think about that more as people, that what we do in a day in and a day out basis has impact. It has a profound meaning and inspiration to other people, and it kind of spurs you on, encourages you to do things better, do it better for yourself, not only just for yourself, but for also the people that are watching you that you may not know are watching you. So Dan, this is a wonderful looking blade. Thank you for sharing this story with us. Just a great reminder that we can all inspire everybody else by doing a great job at what we do day in and day out. Next, we're going to go to Rockford, Illinois, and Larry has always been a knife collector, and he just happened upon one of my videos one time and decided to try making a knife, and this is it. This is his very first knife. I think it's a fantastic looking blade. You did very well, Larry. Be proud of this knife, and thank you so much for sharing it with us. I hope this is not the last knife that you make. Alright, now we're going to go to Southern California, and Louie has been with the United States Navy for 18 years, and he's just recently picked up the hobby of knife making. I think this is a great looking blade. This first one here, he actually used gun blue to darken the metal. Really cool looking knife. And then the second one here, just what a fantastic looking finish. It looks like the secondary bevel on there is beautiful. He put kind of a rough pattern on there, rough finish, and I think this knife turned out great. Louie, thank you so much for sending this in. He says his wife actually enjoys watching the channel, so that's really cool. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time, and thank you for your service, and thank you for sharing this knife. Alright, this next knife is the very first knife of Barnabas, and he's a 20-year-old, and he's definitely building a passion for the craft. He made this out of an old Craftsman wrench, and you know what, he says this isn't going to be his very last knife he makes. He's going to keep going. Made this thing with all very minimal hand tools, and I think it looks really great. What a nice looking dagger there. Barnabas, keep it up. So glad to hear that this isn't your last one, that you're going to keep on going in this. So much fun, isn't it? Alright, Isaac is from Mexico, and he sent pictures of some of these, his first knives. I think these are great looking blades. He apologizes for the bad English. He can't really express too much about them, but we can just look at them and enjoy. These are great looking blades. I really like the styles of them, and what a lot of work you've put into these. These look fantastic, and Isaac, thank you for sending these in. Alright, these next knives we'll look at are sent to me from Joel, and he is 25 years old. He is from Virginia. These first two knives looks like this is actually just a picture of the knife that he had made, but indeed he did make these knives. He's using either 1095 carbon steel or some leftover stainless steel from some other projects he was working on, and also experimenting a lot with the different handle materials, everything from Kiranite to G10 to wood. I think these blades look absolutely fantastic. Keep up this great work, and he's doing everything here with angle grinders and then a 4x36 belt sander to do the bevel. So you know what a great job using the tools that you have available and making these wonderful knives. Thank you, Joel, for sending these in. Okay, well, we will wrap up this edition of Viewer Knives with some knives sent to me by a gentleman from Regina. Jonathan said that this channel has helped him a lot, as well as other channels like Aaron Golf and Walter Searle's channels, and I'm in the exact same boat. So such great information out there. It's such a wonderful way to learn and do, and the important part about that is doing. So he used his own tool steel for these blades, and he did most of the bevels here with a hand filing, a beveling jig, and these things look fantastic. Also, you see his little heat treat forge and his quench tank there, Tim Hortons. Man, how could a knife not turn out well when you're using a Tim Hortons coffee tin to quench your blades? I think these are great looking knives, Jonathan. Really like the attention to detail you put into these. Such clean finish, just fantastic work. So Jonathan, thank you so much for saying this in. Thank you for saying the kind words on the channel, and it is really cool. He also says here, next time I'm through the Queen City, the beard's on him. I will definitely take you up on that if I ever travel through that way. Anyways, guys, to all of you who have sent your knives in, thank you so much for sharing these with us. It is very inspirational. If you'd like to have your knife featured on the channel, just email me, jeremy@homesteadknives.com, and we will get it featured. Please keep in mind, I've got a rather large wait list. It might be several months before we feature your knife, maybe 6 months even, but we will get it shared because this is such a wonderful community to be a part of, and if I can do one little thing like this to show your work off to everybody else, it is so much fun, and I get so much out of it too. It's so inspiring to me to see what you guys are doing. If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers.